It's the Sophia show now. But I'm completely okay with that. Like, we used It's Her show now as like a slight against things like Mandalorian and a few other shows where they just focus on another character instead of the main character. And you're like, this was good though.
I think people like to go, the whole South Park, put a woman in it, make her gay and lame. I think it's just the show starring women that aren't that good, that then these people then conglomerate going women equals bad, where here's an example, a good show that stars women.
You were saying you thought it might have fast-tracked her development just a little bit too much for your liking in the flashbacks, and I'm usually the one that hates on flashbacks because I hate them for that reason, but this one just recontextualizes so well that we'll get into.
I still think this was a really great episode, and it's probably the best thing I'm watching right now on telly.
Easily.
I mean, we all kind of suspected, you just put the pieces together like that. Her dad probably was the hangman because he was strangling his other daughter in the main film. He was strangling Catwoman.
Yeah, I think you called that out as one of the first things I'd heard.
I thought Mark Strong was, for boys, it was good.
Was he very Totoro? Like,
I wouldn't say he was doing an impression of Totoro.
No, I mean, did he match the vibe? Because I couldn't remember how outspoken Totoro is. Because a lot of Totoro's work is very like him in Transformers versus like Mark Strong in this was incredibly subdued.
Yeah, Totoro was like that in the...
okay, perfect.
Totoro's a great actor. I don't know why they couldn't get him back. Maybe he was just busy. Conflict.
Yeah, I'd wager busy.
Get Mark Strong in for that, though. That's a pretty legit...
It's a good pull. Sure, you only got him for one episode, but you've got Mark Strong, and then you've got Colin Farrell as your lead. TV's changed so much.
Oh yeah,
it's good that Mark Strong didn't try to make it his own. He just settled into the role.
He did the role, and I think that's it.
He felt like a great mob boss, like silent, but knew what he was doing. Especially considering how they've kind of shown that like Luca sucks at it. Like everybody sucks at it except then they finally show Falcone and just how good he was at it. Like just him in the room, you just felt the presence, and I'm like,
without needing to see much of it. It's hard to do episodes like this where you're just going, as you've said, here's the backstory. But they dealt with it really well. Well, it's as respected. Her father frames her because he's under the impression that she's talking with the reporter about the strangulations that have happened.
She could cause his downfall.
Yeah, and even though it's quite obvious, because it's like, they're all people that have worked under your father, but because he has his hands in everyone's, it means this obvious shit can kind of get brushed over.
Yeah, the chick runs through it and she's like, this obviously isn't a rope wound. This is 100% just hands. There's also scratch wounds. Yeah, and it's like she just goes through all of these clues that are in the report, but then like get filed away, like disappear. And it's like, oh, obviously someone is murdering these people, and it's a man because like someone Sophia's size isn't overpowering another woman Sophia's size.
Because in the Long Halloween, which is a unit of a person.
Yes.
So you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. But in this one, it's not the case.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about comics. Like you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
The fact that Hush is Hush sometimes, and then other times not at all. After we get through the opening that was just the ending of last episode, but it shows the other side. So you show that Penguin gets completely ruined. Like Sophia knows everything.
Gives away the game, yeah.
But just his compartmentalization of like, all right, I can't deal with Sophia. She's a lost cause. All in on the Maronis, baby. It's like, I'm going to cut her loose.
When just 10 seconds ago, it was like, how about you let me work?
It's so fun just watching him flip. Yeah, he's screwed now. Him and her are done.
And now it's a full-on Penguin versus Sophia.
By the end of this episode, especially.
Penguin versus the Falcon. There you go.
She passes out after Penguin escapes.
Yeah, she has like a panic attack, rings up her therapist from Arkham,
which you meet later on in case you didn't realize that, which is good. When they suddenly flash back to her at the luncheon, like doing her little rounds to get everyone's support because she's fundraising for a charity.
She seems to be running a legitimate practice.
She's running a charity like Bruce Wayne is, and the charity is not helping at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Her accent is almost non-existent. Like, it's like a polite Italian accent. So, like, when she's in front of rich people in a crowd, she puts it on. So she's got some really nice, eloquent words that she's speaking through. And then as soon as she meets back up with Oz in the hallway, who is her driver at this point, she's just like, oh, fucking hell, like goes back full into the mob Italian, and that's fantastic.
And I like that since all his face is prosthetic, it's really smooth to just see a 10-year younger version.
Yes. And he's in the full suit. Like, he looks like the Penguin, which I also thought was really fun because I'd gotten annoyed at the show being like, oh, he's barely even Penguin. Like, he's not walking around in the suit. But that's because he doesn't want to look like a penguin anymore because he doesn't have to. Whereas previously, obviously...
This is why he was called a penguin.
Yeah, he had a limp and he had to dress like a chauffeur.
Which is why he wears like the purple.
And just like leather jackets and stuff. Like, it recontextualizes why he doesn't look like the Penguin. It's not because they're trying to be edgy. It's because he's doing anything he can to not look like the Penguin.
Right.
Like, he almost refuses to wear suits. Like, he wears a full white suit instead of the black and white.
There's a scene later on where she asks him like a naughty dog, like, what are you doing inside? When he comes in to inform her of something, and he does a good job of looking like quite wounded, because he obviously, you know, he just think a lot of that.
She's nice to him.
It wouldn't be too surprising that since we've seen enough episodes from his perspective, that he's just trying his best to work his way in from any angle.
Yes, and there's also a sense of like it actually means something to him that she's nice to him. Like, he's nice to her because she's nice to him. Like, he's not really scheming so much to get ahead. It's like he actually is looking out for her while also trying to do his job for the dad. Because obviously if Carmine found out that Sophia did that and Oz didn't tell, he would have been screwed. But it doesn't feel like he's actively trying to like destroy her so he can take over.
No. I think he was genuinely concerned for both of them, and he didn't expect Carmine to go that hard. Like, I think he just thought he'd go, hey, stop talking to reporters. I don't want to fucking hear about it anymore.
Because that's the thing, he didn't know that it was about murders that directly affected Carmine. And it echoes the relationship between Vic and Penguin, because Penguin goes from being really nice to Vic and being like, I'm proud of you, kid, but as soon as he pisses him off, he lashes out. Whereas in this, as soon as Penguin pisses off Sophia, she lashes out and she's like, you're just my driver, you're nothing else, shut up and drive.
Yeah.
Whereas before, she's like, you look really good. And then she's like, you look good in your suit.
Yeah. Some parallels there. I think this is what brings the Penguin up and gets him running the club. It makes him go, wow, you sell my own daughter out to me. I can respect a man who's that loyal.
That's the thing. It's the loyalty that was rewarded, not really because he's good. It's mixing a bit more Succession than it is. It's not like it's only doing Goodfellas or Sopranos. It's like...
there's all sorts here. Well, even though this is a grounded version of the world, it is still a fantastical world. It's Batman.
And we get a bit more of that this episode, which again made me happy because my one big complaint was, why the fuck is this Batman the Penguin?
Other than just marketing.
Yeah, whereas we get Magpie in this one. She was in CW Gotham. That's how little she was.
Yeah, she's like a small, like,
inconsequential.
throwaway. I wonder why they did that, since they've been so resistant. Like, it's not Hugo Strange running Arkham, for example.
I think that's because she is so small. They're like, fuck it. Like, give him something. Give Daniel the scraps.
Also, it's just bird-based. Another bird-based thing.
Oh, true. Yeah. Very heavily bird-based.
It's just too good.
They just chuckle to themselves. They're like, yeah. It's like, what's Batman's obsession with birds? Come on, weirdos. We go into Sophia as well. We get a couple of flashbacks within the flashback, which again normally drive me insane. Done well in this, to finding her mum's dead body. And it's like, we didn't know that before. So it's like, oh, like they kind of lead us into thinking that maybe she could be the murderer. Like, she found her mum. That's what breaks people in this kind of universe. But it's like, no, it really was just her dad was an evil, evil man. And she kind of leans into that. She's like, oh, I'm doing this whole charity to protect women. I can't really stand by while women get murdered. And then she has dinner with Carmine, and they start to build on that relationship between Alberto and her, which we haven't really seen because Alberto dies in the first 10 minutes. So the most we'd seen is like, oh, they were friends as children in a VHS tape.
They were siblings.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like they were more than siblings because like he actually cared about her when no one else did. Like, he kind of treated her as an equal and was just like, come on. Whereas Carmine actually was talking about Alberto like he's an idiot. He lets her take over. I think this was one of your problems. It was that
1 minute it's, you're the heir to this kingdom, or what the son touches is ours, son. And then 15 minutes later, it's like, she's crazy. Look, I've got all the signatures.
Yeah, that's because she tried to ruin him.
I guess, but she wasn't, though. She told the woman, fuck off, on the second meet.
She did the same thing she does to Penguin. Like, yeah, she's very into it. And then she panics and she lashes out.
He's just annoyed that she even humoured this. And also, he is probably a very, amongst all the exterior, a frightened man who likes to feel like he's in control.
Yes, it definitely seemed like it was slipping away a bit more than even he could control.
And him thinking that, I told my daughter that she'd be heir to the kingdom, so now she's already working to get me out, to get me off, and then she'll get to be in charge.
Yeah, because like, instead of waiting till I die, it's like, no, she wants it now.
There you go, see?
Maybe he thinks I fucked up, like, whoopsies. And it could also be it got away from him more than he thought it would. Like, maybe he actually thought he was putting her away for just a little while, like to look after her. But then the doctors in Arkham get a little bit overeager.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Even
the nice one clearly is manipulating her. Like he likes her to rely on him.
anyone that understands the brain in the Batman universe is definitely a psychopath.
Yeah, if you're working at Arkham, like, you know, it's like everyone.
Well, there was an entire study. The second week in a row I get to talk about scientific studies. What is this show doing? There was a study where basically, I think it was Harvard, they sent 8 people to get psychoanalyzed, and then they all went and got committed, and then they were told to act completely normally once they were admitted. They were told to like say that they're panicking and having anxiety and stuff. So they get into the asylum, and then they basically act completely normal, like don't be crazy. But then they all got diagnosed with like type 3 somethings, and like they all got told that they were insane, and they started getting medicated. It's just proving that basically they're being overdiagnosed, because obviously that's how asylums make money, and also they're looking for problems, so they'll find problems. So it's just showing how fucked up the asylum system is, and that's what this shows really well. And annoyingly, much better than Joker 2. Like, this is Arkham Asylum right here.
But I am a big fan of, you know, the Arkham Asylum of the games.
It needs to be old. It needs to be gothic, decrepit.
Old Arkham, you know, they're like the oldest house, the oldest, like, Gotham family.
Yeah, it's retrofitted to become
the
something
idea that the
shouldn't.
psych ward is a haunted house is just too good. It's just too good. And so I would like to see that. And who knows, like maybe the old building is off to the side somewhere. Like, we don't know.
Maybe the woman's ward is nicer. It's not shown so much to be like, yeah, the haunted house like I really want, but it's decrepit. Like, it's not a nice place to be, which is exactly how it should be. And it was wonderful.
Oh yeah, and seeing how she is normal, she's having to be like, I know you've heard this all the time,
which is what made me think of the
truly.
study, where it's like she could act completely normal, and they'd still be like, that's something a crazy person would say.
And then they obviously, I don't know if it's her dad paid them off to make it the case.
That's what they make it sound like, but also that main doctor,
whatever his name is, not
Dr.
Hugo
V,
Strange.
Yes, not Dr. Strange, sounded very overeager. So it could be like he was told to look after her, but then he's like, oh, she actually is crazy. I'll take care of it.
With the woman who hasn't got the hair wise and she got the chains on, like they're trying to create the environment, and then they actually full on just go, we're going to actually fake.
It's a mental test.
Yeah, we're going to make you kill her.
Yeah, which is exactly the kind of thing Arkham from comics and stuff would do. It's like doctors that don't have enough oversight, so they'll be like, to find out if she's crazy, we'll beat the shit out of her by another inmate and then see if she wants to murder her, because that's something a crazy person would do. And
they were planning on doing a Arkham show, so maybe some of those ideas that were there maybe have bled in a little bit. But yeah, so seeing the horror of what she went through, and then you're told, oh yeah, there's nothing happening, you're just going to be here for 10 years.
Which does give credence to the Vic might be Victor Zsasz, because there's a lot of people saying, no, he's just like a wounded kid, like he would never do that. This was a lovely woman at the start of this episode. She may have been the daughter of a crime boss, but she was a lovely lady.
I love the Vic thing because everyone knows something is going to happen to Vic. It's just, what will it be? It's like, is Vic dying going to make Oz go, fuck Sophia? Like, is Sophia going to kill Vic and then Penguin? Or is Vic going to get chewed up and spat out and then wants to go? It's just so many things. That's awesome, is that I couldn't tell you what happens. I'm really excited for next week.
Whereas with like a show like Agatha, I'm like, oh, Billy's going to be Billy, and then like something will happen, I guess.
Yeah, and then with Colin Farrell talking about how
by episode 8, you'll despise Oz.
And I think it's going to be more of it's not a character change, it's just us seeing more of him. Like, Jaime Lannister was kind of that in Game of Thrones, completely recontextualizes everything, like his fucked up relationship with his sister, and how he did save King's Landing.
Yeah.
And people just, but yeah, anyway.
I think that's why I like this episode. Like, The Acolyte.
Would never. Sorry.
The Acolyte's episode 3 is their flashback.
Yeah.
So you've had... and they're only like 20-minute episodes, so you've had less than 40 minutes.
We had a whole hour.
Between 3 main characters, maybe 4 or 5 main characters, to like split between that 40 minutes, whereas this, we've had 3 whole hours between Vic, Penguin, and Sophia.
Yeah.
And it's probably a pretty even distribution.
Because this is 8 hours, so that's the equivalent of like 16 Acolyte episodes, basically.
And it just goes to show that like a flashback can actually give you useful information. In the Acolyte, the flashback felt completely pointless. Like, one line of dialogue could have gotten it. Whereas with this, we knew that she went to Arkham, but now we know why she went to Arkham, how she went to Arkham, what Arkham did to her.
Yeah, completely screwed her up.
We thought she was crazy before, the way everyone talked about her.
Like, I want to go back and watch those early episodes when she's walking into the house going, I'm around all the people who fucked me over because they were scared of my dad.
Because we just thought she was crazy.
When she kills the bald guy, he's like, I've been so loyal to you. Like, the idea that she obviously struggles to trust anyone at all, ever. understands that she does need people in this world, and her brother was probably that one link.
Yes,
that she would have got out, and he would have been the Don, and they probably would have ran together, and which was the plan.
Well, he needed her to a degree. Like, he needed her 10 years ago. Like, he was a bit of a fuck up. He's not good at... He's just a rich kid.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know how to run a business, where she knew how to run the business, and he was more than happy to let her take charge. Like, when she's in Arkham, 6 months later, he looks disheveled versus the 6 months prior. When we see him originally, he's just like, he's laid back. He's just like, fuck it, I'm going to the club. I'm going to party. And then we see him 6 months without his sister, and he's like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like, whatever you need, I'll get you out of here.
We also got Mackenzie had a cameo. He was the copper who arrests her. He's the corrupt cop who works for Falcone in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Who has like Batman beats him up and everything. Like,
right. Okay. Same actor?
Same actor.
That's cool. I expected it to be Harvey Bullock, as in like the guy we thought was Harvey Bullock.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, that's definitely a different actor, even if it is 10 years earlier. And just the fact that everyone knows that it's Kenzie, like when Penguin gets pulled over, he's just like, Kenzie, what the hell? Like,
yeah, that's it. He's basically the Falcone's guy in the police rather than the police inside the Falcon.
Yeah, probably the one most willing to like, plant evidence and do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So completely is fine. And then having everyone sign going, she's been crazy. It makes sense that you go, oh, she discovered her mum hung. It makes sense that she would then go and do this to other people.
Yeah.
So he uses her to get out of that suspicion. Because then I can only imagine that reporter would go, oh, I guess it was her then. And then if you can manipulate all of this and can connect them to all those women, it's... So yeah, I guess my problem of expediency isn't really a problem. Like, because I probably would have been here bitching and moaning if there was 15 more minutes.
And they dragged it out. Yeah.
So yeah, and I imagine they probably did film a lot of scenes and went, oh, we've got an 80-minute episode and we need to whittle this down.
We get a montage of her getting electroded.
Yeah, like fucked up big time.
Yeah, so it's like that'll mess with you as is. So it's like there's a reason why she came out the way she did. Even when she's a sane person, we get to see her being flawed in the way she lashes out at Penguin and the way she like
treats him.
She lashes out at a reporter for just talking down to her dad. She's a very deep character. Like there's a lot there, which is so interesting versus the House of the Dragon stuff.
You know, when she kills Magpie, who's there for a few minutes and does a good job of being... I mean, when she's in the cell and she's talking to her for the whole... That shit was like Silence of the Lambs horror movie stuff. Like seeing her only in like... It was really like crazily good and unsettling me. When she takes the drug and it like melts on the teeth and stuff. You know, they get it when they're really good and they subscribe to Bergenbeard. They get a treat.
Oh, do you want a treat? Yeah, when she's getting electroshocked... She's waking up every day, tearing off the wallpaper. And I'm like, that's weird. I guess this cell was repurposed from something. But no, it's showing that she's going crazy and she's turning it into the room that she found her mother in. And I was like, like, of course.
Yeah.
It's showing her mind. Lovely, lovely stuff.
They're trying to orchestrate a situation in which they can go, she's definitely crazy, she killed someone.
She stabbed someone in the throat.
Like, never mind a, what's it called, a legal procedure. She killed someone here.
The way that she's just like, oh, this is what you want, I'm smarter than this. And then
it still happens,
the chick stabs herself in the throat.
She wants
Everything
it to be
works
ended.
Out.
Like, she's obviously been tortured to no end. So when she kills Magpie out of frustration, like, she starts going crazy. She goes, did you snitch on me? Did you do that? And I'm thinking, she might have done. Who knows? Like, you know, like it's crazy, but and that's what makes her, as we now see, super untrusting of anyone.
Yeah, but she's killed one person, as far as we know. Like before her big speech at the end of the night, where she's like, "Even this guy has a bigger body count than me." So hers really is just one. It's Magpie. Yeah. She was a nice lady. She went crazy. She killed one person.
Yeah,
and then was crazy for 10 more years.
Yeah,
but yeah, she gets let out. Gets flash forward. And we're back in modern day.
Yeah, and she realizes that he's a piece of shit, which we all kind of knew, that he just likes to look after someone.
Yes, and it's not sexually charged.
Definitely a bit of that. And I like that was the moment that she's like, no, and it's, as we said, I don't like it when people online go just click view, like, oh, girl power. It's a character who happens to be a woman realizing the lies in her life and what she needs to do.
That's the thing. They managed to show us the journey so we understand why she does it.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, you think I'm the monster? I'll be the fucking monster. And when she learns that she's finally let the penguin in, like she just allowed that to happen nearly in that moment. Then like, oh no, he killed your brother and then has allowed you to kill the fucking henchman who was loyal to you and has then fucked up the whole family for his own benefit.
Yep. All because you trusted one person. Look at you.
That to me is great. And it gets me so hyped for next week and where this season's going to go, because just how far is he going to go to survive? Because now she's definitely gunning for him.
The Maronis are the only ammunition he's got now. While talking through with her therapist, he's like, maybe you should start a new life, talking about Italy. And she's like, no, that is the right idea. Wrong concept. Like, we're going to start a new life, but with me in charge.
Exactly.
And then I don't know at what point, I guess she's resolved to doing it. She just doesn't know how yet. And then she gets dressed up, goes to the nice family dinner. There's a lot of little details that I love. The fact that she does present herself wonderfully. It's not like she's hiding from the world anymore. It's like she's like very much outward, going back to the way she was when she was sane. Like she was in some lovely like dresses back then. In previous episodes,
she's always been covered and
darker colors and stuff.
Yeah, it's the first time she's been in color in this time, like in the present day.
And comes out, and then when you see her wine glass in one of the scenes, it's like it's completely topped off. So like she just cares a lot less now. Has her little speech about everyone sucks. That's basically the gist of it. And then goes for a smoke in her room. And it's like a within 3 minutes flip on its head, but it's just so well done that she's just having a smoke, opens her window, and then in her little brain is like, if I didn't close this window, it would be very smoky and bad in here. I didn't even realize that at the time, but then she goes and kidnaps the child because she's not a monster.
No, she's not going to kill a kid.
And I just thought because the way I think she packs her bag, so I thought she was going to take her to Italy or something, and I thought that would be the new life.
They're going to the garden.
But they're just going to hang out in the greenhouse while she gasses the entire mansion. And it's such a good reveal. Yeah, she walks in, so I'm like, oh, how did the guards die? But then gas mask, and then just walks through the house and everyone's dead.
Confirms everyone's dead except
Johnny Vitti.
Johnny Vitti, who we can assume she opened the window for. Or
that's the only thing I'm not sure of, and I didn't really realize. I didn't think of it until he woke up. So her plan kind of relied on everyone going to bed with the windows closed, except Johnny.
Roughly around the same time.
Unless, as soon as she finished her smoke, while everyone was still down at dinner, she quickly gapped it around the house and opened up all the windows, closed all the windows except his.
I suppose, yeah. She went and did it at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when everyone is definitely asleep.
Yeah.
Then she does it, but then he's managed to sleep through all of it, and then he's waking up to a dead house. And I did like her speech that she's like, all of you. In my head, I imagine the Falcones would have been a much larger family.
I think that's the close. Like they've probably got...
Yeah, they've probably got lots of extension. So who knows what they're going to do? Maybe they'll say it'll just simply be, oh, there was a gas leak, and
it looks like natural causes
and a natural cause situation. But thankfully, the young daughter snuck out to the greenhouse and didn't.
And Johnny Vitti is alive, and Johnny Vitti, as far as I can tell, was in charge of all the operations. So it's not like all of his men and all the paperwork.
He was the hand of the king, if you will. Yeah.
All the paperwork doesn't suddenly have to be like transferred to her. Yeah. And because that would be a fucking nightmare. That'd take way too long.
It's interesting because they've kind of got rid of his blackmail now. The leverage is gone.
She doesn't really have any leverage over him, apart from the fact that she's crazy and he's watched her kill everyone. So maybe he's like, fuck it.
And also, he's about that life still. Like what's he going to do? Like, everything he knows has just been killed. He's going to latch on to what he can grab, which is probably a normal mental thing.
He's Johnny Vitti, not Johnny Falcone. So he's probably married into the family. Or maybe he's too distant of a cousin, so he doesn't have like the name power. Whereas Sophia is Targaryen.
So you still need
got
that
the name.
Yeah, you need the name.
Maybe.
Yeah, because if there's no Falcone walking around, then what's the...
Yeah, whereas now they're just like, oh, Carmine's daughter? Sure. I'm in, boss.
And surely in the preview, Penguin's going like, she did us a favour, because this completely changes his like Game of Thrones chess match he was playing. Like, it's such a cool twist. And as I was saying to you before we go on camera, that this is the type of thing that ends a season, that makes you go, oh man, can't wait. Where this is the mid-season.
That's how season 1 House of Dragon ended. Yeah, they're like, oh, these 2 people are finally going to fight.
And you've got 4 episodes. And so...
we're going to get to see them fight, guys.
Yeah, and well, that's it. I mean, we're going to end up... I mean, probably the irony that Penguin's probably going to choke the hangman or something. I don't know. Like,
I mean, she can survive till the next movie, honestly.
She can.
We need the Falcone family. So maybe Penguin will beat the shit out of the Maronis, take half their stuff. Because you want Penguin to come out on top in this. Like, you want this show to end. You despise Penguin. He's the bad guy. He is the Penguin. He has an army now.
He's kind of been on that. He wanted to be in charge, but now it's definitely like, fuck it. I'm not going to be in charge through like family name. I'm just going to have to like take control of what's there. Because that's what he's been trying to do. Like, oh, I'll run it with you.
Well, she kind of did his plan. of like take over the family. It was like that was what he did. So that was what she did. She just stole his plan.
So now his plan is having to try and... He's got the Maronis on his tail, and then it's just all these things that now she can do, which I love talking about, that we can now Theorycraft going, is she going to go to the Maronis and go, fuck the Penguin, am I right? So we're just going to get him off the board and we're going to figure something out.
Yeah, who does he have left?
He's got Vic, and so it's poor fucking Vic is now just like, oh, great, I'm like the number one fucking, like, I'm going to get killed for this.
There's got to be more baddies than just the Maronis and
well, if this was a CW show, it'd be like, you know, I'm putting the word out, 10 million on the Penguin, and Deathstroke and fucking Polka Dot Man are rocking up.
I'm glad we're not doing that because that's too far. But I am glad we got to see people develop. Like, yeah, we get to see Sophia Falcone, who she has now become. Hopefully we get to see something with Vic. Whether, again, whichever way Vic goes, I think I'll be pretty happy with that.
Me too.
Like, I think I would prefer he becomes Zaz, because then we get a great backstory for Zaz, whereas Zaz has been pretty overlooked in a lot of things.
Yeah, he's like briefly in Batman Begins as like a cameo.
He's just like, this is the crazy guy that kills people.
The most Zaz I think about is in Arkham Asylum when you have to stop him.
Yeah.
That's the Zaz I think about.
Thing. And he's fully formed there. And also, even in the CW show, he doesn't have his scars yet, I don't think. But he's already a maniacal hitman.
If Penguin goes, it'll probably scar, then we'll be like, But I know people are like, he's not Zaz, stop it. And yeah, I don't think he is.
I think I want him to be, because again, the whole...
You'd allow that, like the idea that it's the system chewed him up and spat him out.
Exactly, because we've seen how it does that. And apparently Zaz's parents die in a boating accident, which is drowning. And they drown in this.
Who knows? Like, it's not insane to do this.
You have every single name to choose from, and they're like, fuck it, Victor. Name him after a character that already exists.
They would have been going, who's called what? Exactly. I would say it's a deliberate name.
Yes.
But we will see. And Zaz is kind of... did we learn his last name?
Aguilar. Victor Aguilar.
So it's not like it's a hidden,
could be his middle name. Could be his mum's maiden name.
Maybe. Who gives the fuck? It doesn't need to be a 1-for-1 anyway. But
every time they ask him for his name, he's like, it's Victor.
Mate.
Have I just broken this wide open?
No, but imagine that shit.
That's what I mean. If his name started with an S or something that you could like mutter, that would be a pretty funny way to like make him Victor Zaz.
I know he has to get out of it, but I love that I don't know how he's going to get out of it. Like,
yes.
That he's going to probably be on the back foot. He's going to have to go back to his apartment quickly and get everything. Like, because I imagine the next episode is going to be probably less Sophia and a lot more of just what the Penguin does.
The Maronis now have the farm.
Yeah.
Shonra Agadashalu
They've took over the drugs, yeah. So I'm going to assume that he's going to run back to his place. He's going to get whatever he can. He's going to have to go underground, probably with the prostitutes.
An army of hoes.
I don't know. Like, it's just, what's he going to do? And then obviously his mum is the Chekhov's gun, where they're eventually going to find out about the mum and
we'll get him on top.
And
then episode 7, that'll be the, oh, fuck, my mum.
That's going crazy. Like, sorry. It's crazy to think about. But no, what I was about to say was like, once again, like, I know you're not listening, IGN, but this is 4 for 4 now for me. Like,
I'm giving this at least an 8.
Yeah.
I think...
Still 8 or 9.
Considering this doesn't push the plot forward until the last 10 minutes...
But considering it did something that you typically would eye roll, where it's
100%.
Here's your wiki dump, but it's done really well. Like, you let it go.
There's basically zero exposition in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, they just
show you.
They just do it.
You go, oh yeah, that makes sense. That would fuck you up. Like, your whole family betrayed you when all you were was a good daughter.
It was the moment, like, the day one at Arkham where they start shocking her. I'm like, oh.
No wonder.
Like, this is why she's insane.
Like her insane mistrust of people.
How long was she in Arkham for? Because, like, even after the 6 months, she's fucked up. And then they're like, oh, she was there for 10 years.
10 years.
I was like, oh, yeah, no,
now I need to know how she got out. Like, how did she get out?
Rush says he helped Alberto get her out. Because I think once Carmine was dead, no one was keeping her there. So then they were like, Alberto was now the Don. So Alberto was like, get my daughter out of there or I'll...
Get my sister.
Get my sister out of there or I'll get you murdered.
That's the...
Moided.
Makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah.
You've really come around on the episode.
I was always on it. It was just a super nitpick.
It was probably the most negative you had been pre-record, though. You're just like, oh, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, but then
that's
we
why I
knew
love
discussing it
through it. Yeah,
it's great to see that the viewership seems to be going up. So word of mouth's getting around. It's what you want to see with it's us, yeah. But it's what you want to see with a quality show that people catch on.
Yeah,
and considering that the Batman came out 2 years ago now, and
there's probably 2 years till the Batman 2. Yeah, so that's 4 8 in a rows.
For excellence, yeah, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is almost my favorite episode, I think, which is, again, insane because it doesn't do as much for the plot, but just the amount of meat, the amount of story and character development they give me in one episode is unheard of in modern shit. Like, it's crazy. Love it.
It's so good. You know, I'm just glad that this is another show that co-stars a woman that's being showrun by a woman.
Yes. I had thumbnails and titles planned in case the show went the IGN way of like, it started becoming bad. I was thinking like, are the cracks starting to show? And it's like, I can't use any of that because the show's fucking good. How am I meant to clickbait this?
Just do like IGN wrong again.
Thank you for watching. It is very much appreciated that you watch that you watch like positive reviews. We don't have to rage bait. It's just nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like the video if you like it. That's about it. Laters.